Welcome back. Nigerian authorities say the country is at high risk of importation of the Ebola virus following the outbreak of the disease in Uganda. Now, though Nigerian authorities or Nigeria does not share a common border with Uganda, the Nigerian Center for Disease Control (NCDC) says that the high level of risk due to the country is due to the large volume of air travel between Nigeria and Uganda, and that the mixing of passengers, especially at regional travel hubs of Nairobi, Addis Ababa, and Kigali airports.
Well, the health authorities say they are on alert with a number of measures put in place to prevent and mitigate the impact of a potential Ebola outbreak in Nigeria. Joining us on Breakfast Central this morning is Dr. Kola. He is a medical virologist. Thank you so much for being here this morning. And we do understand that you're not feeling too well yourself. We're not trying to spread rumors, but of course, we want to use that medium to say you are pushing the boundaries and taking time to join us this morning. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And
all right.
Nice discussing another case of Ebola now getting one for us in this country.
Absolutely.
All right. Dr. Kola, well, important conversations to have here. Uganda is struggling with the Ebola virus in terms of the Sudan strain, which is not the one that we have the vaccine for. Now, would you say that enough attention is being paid to the conversation about the Ebola virus in Uganda, outside Uganda? I mean, how many Nigerians even know about the fact that Uganda is currently dealing with this? Would you say that we've placed enough emphasis and enough attention on this?
I think this situation is also very, very critical at this point in time because we have what we call diversion of interest. Not everyone is talking about Ebola because we're in the era of political season in Nigeria. So that is just trying to drive our attention away from that. But notwithstanding, we need to lay more emphasis and sensitize rather the community on how and what to be done. If from the last couple of weeks ago, like I said on the Punch and on this show, that the government need to inform the citizen what and what to be done in order for us to contain this virus so that we don't have any imported case in Nigeria. And if I talk about the Sudan strain, and this is the new strain that there's no vaccine for it currently, and all of us, we have known as the scientists that this virus has a tendency to mutate. So that's why you see keeping seeing a lot of strain. And if not well contained on time, there could be some mutation again where we have another strain of the virus coming in. We've seen what happened in the era of SARS-CoV-2, which is COVID-19, and see how several lineages of this virus, strains coming out. So like what we're doing and again is a form of sensitizing the community, the general population, that this virus is there, and the government is also aware of this, and they are trying to make all efforts to see that all of us, we are updated about the current condition of Ebola in Africa.
I mean, no doubt we must give the Center for Disease Control in Nigeria kudos for actually bringing this up to speed, letting citizens know that they have a lot to do. But let's also look at this. I mean, just this morning in the newspapers, we saw that 23 people actually caught the virus by just exhuming a body. What threats do you think this brings forth, especially to young Nigerians as a whole? And most importantly, what can Nigerians start doing individually so they can protect themselves, being a virologist yourself?
Well, I would like what happened yesterday. You can see that there is a travel advisory note warning given to Nigerians that these are the outbreak of the virus. Uganda, for instance, then all of those we have when we travel is either you go through Ethiopia airline that takes you to Addis Ababa, or you go to Rwanda, you go to Kigali, or you take Kenya Airways, you land in Nairobi before you connect with other flights. So there are things that is expected of you to declare at the point of entry into the country. They tell you if you're having fever, you've taken some analgesic drugs. I want all our travelers to be as sincere as possible so that it will be easier for them to be monitored for the 21 days. And when you are writing address, don't write a wrong address. Write address that it's have been indicated on your passport where you can be seen, so that if peradventure contact tracing needs to set in place, it will be easier for all of us to trace each one or two persons that had contact with anybody peradventure he or she has been infected by the virus. And we have to do exactly according to the experts that have advised us. If you see any symptoms that is just related to that, you can just get to the nearest hospital. You have fever, you don't just treat anything you have like fatigue, muscle pain, headache, sore throat, vomiting, diarrhea. So things like these are the common sign of Ebola virus disease. So if you have such symptoms, go to the nearest hospital for accurate diagnosis. And it's very critical if you're a regular traveler that you had contact with one or two other persons coming from the red zone, and Uganda is a red zone for now. So it's good for you to go to the appropriate health center where proper diagnosis will be done. I think then, like what we're doing now, we need more sensitization in the community that this thing is real and it comes along with other symptoms, and this is a way we can prevent it. And even peradventure, if the travel you need to do can be averted. Now we have technology now. If it's a business meeting, you can convert it to be online instead of you going to the red zone in order for you not to be infected, because our life is very, very precious and we have to take care of it.
All right, you've really highlighted the very important points, and we thank you for sharing that with us. Let's talk about being proactive. Since 2009, the United States scientists have discovered about 900 new viruses, but now they've taken it a step further. What they do is that they go to global hotspots, and they're looking for potential viruses that could become a pandemic. So basically finding pathogen X before it finds us. Now, the African Center for Disease Control has said that the situation in Uganda is nothing to worry about and hasn't gotten out of hand. Do you maybe think that this is something that we should employ in Africa, going ahead, being proactive, seeing as this Sudan strain was first discovered in 1976 and we're in 2022, we still do not have a vaccine?
Yeah, I think we have a lot to do in Africa. From my own research group, we adapted what we call One Health. And I know some other scientists in Nigeria too that are trying to do it. But one thing that is actually apparent is we need well coordination and well funded such a program to be well funded. We need to do more. There is something we call One Health approach. It's looking at organisms, pathogenic organisms that can be of pandemic potential. Then you look at them, you hunt for them, looking at animals, from plants, from humans, from environment. That's the One Health approach. And that is the approach that African is also imbibing. There are groups that have been set up by African CDC on this aspect too, but we need to do more. It has to come, we have to have a collaboration between research institutes, between institutions, between various research groups across polytechnics, universities, college of education, because it is a multidisciplinary approach. It is only when we put all this in place, then we can be ahead of these pathogens, because they are very, very smart and they want to survive. So they are developing different means of escaping either the vaccine that have been in place or the drug that is in place. So the hunting continues. If we do not put One Health approach in place, it will be difficult for us to actually combat this virus. And this One Health approach, if it is well coordinated, it allows for easy development of therapeutics, any form of biologics or drugs or vaccine, and it makes us to have it in our bank ahead any pandemic. So what I'll be calling on this is that we need more organization, more private individuals to support this kind of study, because it involves a lot of money. And it's not only what the government alone can do. We can see the way they have been sponsoring a lot of art events. So in terms of scientific event too, like looking for hunting for pathogen, we need more sponsors to support scientists in various levels. Until we get it right, then we're able to live right. If we don't get it right, we're not able to live right.
We need to get it right, you say. Thank you so much, medical virologist Kola Ologbondiyan. Thank you for joining us. We truly appreciate your time here and also explaining things that needs to be done. Thank you.